We are mock drafting from the 105. And if you are sitting in the 5 spot, these are the top 5 guys that need to go off the board. You're not going to get Gibbs. You're not going to get Bijan. You're going to get one of Jamar, CMC, or Puka. Go with one of those guys, barring any type of suspension for Puka Nacua. If for some reason Puka gets suspended, you're in the 5 spot, no Gibbs, no Jamar, no McCaffrey, no Bijan. What do we do in this scenario? It's JSN or it's Amon-Ra. Don't overthink it. Amon-Ra has a higher floor on a year-to-year basis. He's done it for multiple seasons, 3 straight top 3 finishes, but JSN got that wide receiver 1 upside. Now, I haven't drafted from the middle quite like this. I've done 101, 102, 103, 104, 112, 111, 110. So usually we're picking in that back-to-back range. We don't have an even amount of space between picks, and for some reason, I like to pick in that back-to-back spot, but we've done relatively the same methodology over the last few drafts, and that is let's stack up on running backs. If Trey McBride is there in the second round, we take Trey McBride for the positional advantage. But I've cooled on that take just a little bit because I think you can get a similar positional advantage on Brock Bowers around later. So we're going to not take Trey McBride early, although I do think I love McBride. I love the positional advantage you get with him. He's scoring. He was second in the NFL in receptions last year, so especially in PPR formats. And last time a tight end scored this much more points than the second best tight end in fantasy the year before was in 2021 when Travis Kelce scored 100 more points than TJ Hawkinson. He went in the top 5 in the drafts the following year. McBride's current ADP on ESPN, but ESPN's ADPs are a joke. Everybody knows that. But he is currently going as the 19th player off the board. So here we're looking to double dip on running back, and then hopefully if Brock Bowers is there at pick 29, which in this scenario we need him to fall just a little bit, we are going to feast on that all day long. But we are looking at the best running backs on the board right now. And if Derrick Henry is there, we're going to take Derrick Henry. Derrick Henry and Puka Nacua is a really solid foundation to build upon. He's been a top 10 fantasy running back for the last half decade. There goes Kenneth Walker. So we've got Omarion Hampton and Derrick Henry, and this is really interesting. I'm going to go with Derrick Henry because I think his floor is way higher than Omarion Hampton's, but obviously Omarion Hampton has a higher ceiling. Derrick Henry's rushing prop for his future, like just a total over-under for rushing yards, was 1,250, the highest out of any running back in the league. He's going to be a double-digit, could be a 1,500-yard guy. He's just a solid floor to have as your RB1. We take that all day. Him and Puka, what a core to build around. As we come back now in the 3rd round, we're going to hope one of the tight ends falls there. And I remember last year I took Brock Bowers way too early. And it's been a strategy that I've liked, but I took Brock Bowers, a whole round goes by, and Trey McBride's still on the board. There goes McBride at the pick 210. So if Bowers can fall to us here at pick 29, then we might be cooking the best draft so far. If we can leave the first 3 rounds with Derrick Henry, Puka Nacua, Brock Bowers, I think the 105 might be the new best spot to draft. I don't remember what spot I like the best. So far, I've liked drafting at the 111, 112, 110 because you can get like a Chase Brown and a Justin Jefferson. And I think since the news that Kyler Murray is going to be the starting quarterback, Justin Jefferson at the end of the 1st round is just tremendous value. There goes Chris Olave. Very interesting. Over Drake London, over Nico Collins. I think these guys are smoking fucking crack. In what world are you taking? I understand Jordan Tyson got hurt, but come on. Drake London is still there. Nico Collins is still there. Brock Bowers is still there. Unless those are the next 3 guys off. Oh, we're getting one of them. We're getting at least one of them. There goes Nico. There goes Drake. We might not get one of them. If Brock Bowers goes here, we're going to have to go back to the drawing board. I don't like where the running backs are. I will go with George Pickens or Garrett Wilson, but I'm not that confident in that. Oh, man, hopefully this guy doesn't go Brock Bowers. Brock Bowers is the most obvious pick here. He is the most obvious pick here because I think there's a fall off in tier after Brock Bowers here. I do like Garrett. I do like GP a whole lot this season, so I'm not that upset going with GP. I'll probably go Garrett because I'm a Jets fan. There goes George Pickens. We're going with Brock Bowers. We have absolutely cooked, chat. We have absolutely cooked here. We have Derrick Henry, Puka Nacua, Brock Bowers as our core foundation to build upon. And now we start going RB heavy. We're talking We want Bucky Irving. We want Cam Scatterbu. We want TreVeyon Henderson. We're going to go back to back. These next two picks are both going to be running backs unless we can get some egregious value in the wide receiver spot. Like if a Zay Flowers falls that far, we'll go Zay Flowers. But I don't really like any receivers in this tier, especially Luther Burden right here is ridiculous when I can go and get a Parker Washington or an Alec Pierce right here in the 6th or 7th round, and then go even a little bit deeper and get a Michael Wilson. Where is Michael Wilson? All right, these ADPs have changed. They've moved up since the last time I did a mock draft for sure. Michael Wilson is just below Parker Washington, Alec Pierce. Okay. So my strategy needs a little bit of adjustment because the ADPs are coming back down to earth a little bit. We're definitely gonna go RB with this next pick. The way I have these guys ranked right now is tough. I'm way more bullish on TreVeyon Henderson than a lot of people are. In games where he saw double-digit carries, he was averaging 16 fantasy points per game. There's no reason his volume should decrease. I understand there are some concerns with his pass blocking ability, but look at the way TreVeyon finished the season, man. He was just on an absolute tear. He's a more efficient running back than Ramondre Stevenson. Again, the pass protection is all anybody wants to talk about. But look at this, 28, 32, 11, 11, 30. He was just super efficient with his touch as well. 10 yards a carry, 6 yards a carry, 10 yards a carry. He just has home run hitting ability that simply cannot be ignored. I'm not that high on Quinshon Judkins, despite the volume. And I did see some stuff. Well, there goes Judkins anyway. I did see some Quinshon Judkins stuff when I was looking at DraftKings in terms of like rushing futures, which we'll talk about later in this episode, that really did jump off the screen with me. It's like 8 touchdowns, 1,000 yards is around where his line is, which was a little concern. It was a little eye popping for me. I think that helped raise his stock in my eyes. But we're going to go TreVeyon Henderson here, and then we'll go hopefully Price, Montgomery, Swift. One of those guys is there on this next pick because I think the running backs fall off a cliff after that. And then after we go with either a Swift, an Irving, a Monty, I really do like Montgomery because Henderson has a little bit of risk. I think Monty has a really, really solid floor. Same thing with Swift and Irving. But I don't want to have to go Henderson and Price. I think that's too risky. So we want one of these three guys to be there on this next pick. And honestly, thinking back now, I probably should have taken one of those three first. It's just I don't know which one I like. Like Bucky Irving scares me. He's the most talented of the three. David Montgomery probably has the least amount of competition for touches because Kyle Monangai was pretty efficient. But Bucky Irving, probably should have went Bucky. I probably should have went Bucky and then waited. And if TreVeyon was there, went TreVeyon. But I think TreVeyon just has the highest upside out of any of those guys. I think he can be a potential league winner. But everybody's fading him because of his pass blocking ability. Whatever. I don't fucking care. We're gonna take Bucky if he's there. That'd be crazy value. Bucky, then Monty, then Swift in that order. I really do like David Montgomery this year. I like the whole Texans offense a little bit better than a lot of people do. They added Kalen Rutledge, the guard from Georgia Tech, one of the best run blocking guards in the draft. They bring in Braden Smith. They bring in Wyatt Teller. They have Ariante Ursery. They have some established veterans on this offensive line now. And I think if this offense is better, which it should be, and they should be winning a lot of games, I want to be a pound the rock type of ball club. David Montgomery is a perfect guy. I mean, look at his yards per carry over his career. It's pretty sexy. Let's just go to his complete stats here. Actually, no, I'm not even going to mess with that. I'm not even going to mess with that because it messes me up when I go to I have to switch the screen back and forth, and I don't want to do that. I don't want to screw up the live here. But we're gonna get one of these guys. We'll take a peek at the whole board just in case we're not missing any insane value. And it feels like Lamar Jackson in this late is just terrific value. It really does. Burrows. It really does feel like Lamar Jackson in the 5th round is just it's too good to pass up on. It's too good to pass up on. I simply cannot do it. And the way the running back room has shaken out here, well, there goes Swift. There goes Irving. I hate being at the end. I hate being at the end of a run because you want to be at the start of the run. But I think after Monty, those three were the guys I had queued up. After that, it falls off of a cliff. So we have Henry, Henderson, Bowers, Montgomery. We could have went Lamar there, and I would have went Lamar if we didn't see that run start to go, but I didn't want to miss out on one of that small tier of solid RB2, and we didn't miss out on it, which is solid. We have 2 RB2s. One of them has RB1 upside, and on top of that, we have the best receiver in Puka Nacua. We have Brock Bowers, who could lead the NFL in receptions next season, and now we're looking at our wide receiver 2s, and we're looking at Parker Washington 1, Alec Pierce 2, Michael Wilson 3. I don't want Michael Pittman. I don't want DK Metcalf. I don't want Cortland Sutton. I don't want Luther Burden. Where's Rome Odunze? Is he off the board already? I imagine he's off the board. Okay, so we want one of these guys for sure. And in this order, it goes Parker Washington, Alec Pierce, Michael Wilson. I think Alec Pierce is one of the most underrated fantasy assets this year. He finished as a top 30 wide receiver last year, and that was on like not a lot of targets, 106 or 84 targets, 47 catches, 1,000 yards. He's going to have a way more diverse route tree, and we will be taking his teammate at Jordan right here, Josh Downs, who has the highest. I'm pretty sure he has the same amount. He has the same receiving yard like future player prop as your DK Metcalfs, as your Michael Pittmans, as your Marvin Harrison Jr.'s, higher receiving prop than Cortland Sutton. Your same receiving prop is like your Rome Odunze's, but he's going so far later. So if we don't get Alec Pierce, like in an ideal world, we go Parker Washington, Michael Wilson, Josh Downs with these next 3 picks, and I think we're locked and loaded at the wide receiver position. And one of those guys is going to break out. I am so bullish on Parker Washington, and I think he is just an absolute problem. There goes Lamar Jackson in the 6th round. That is insane value. Insane value. Noah's nifty team getting Lamar in the 6th round. That is, you can't make that up. And it is like these QBs are jumping off a little bit at me here. Burrow, Hurts, or May. I would go Burrow, May, Hurts in that order. Probably May 1. I'm not going to do that. We're going to wait for a T-Law, a Caleb, a Mahomes, a Herbert, a Kyler. Like we are waiting on quarterback this year. We simply are. And I'm okay with that. I am A-okay with that. There goes Parker Washington. Fuck. Jacob with a good pick there by Jacob. So we'll go Alec Pierce here. We'll go Alec Pierce. And then we'll go Michael Wilson with our next pick. I don't know. I might want to, is it risky to wait here? It is risky to wait. Let's see what receivers we have on the board. No, we got to lock one of these guys up. Okay, the ADPs have come back down to earth because I was getting I was getting Parker Washington, Michael. I was getting those guys in the 7th, 8th, 9th round a month ago. That's not the case anymore. I like the competitive nature. We will go Alec Pierce, and then we are going to come back and probably go Michael Wilson if he's there. If he's not there, we will go. I don't want to go Downs because we already picked. I don't want like that much stock in this Colts offense, Colts receiving core. We will go Jordan Addison, who with Kyler Murray, I like his upside a whole lot. I really do. I mean, he's one of the better deep threats in the NFL. Good compliment to Justin Jefferson. I've always been a Jordan Addison guy. I think he's kind of flown under the radar. Matthew Golden, did he just go off the Matthew Golden is that early? Is kind of insane, man. But I really do like our squad. I'll tell you what though. If Tyson continues to fall because of the injury, he could be a really, really, really good late round steal. I love QJ at his value here. We're on the clock. We need Michael Wilson all day. All right, I think we are fine. Our receiving room is Puka Nacua, Alec Pierce, Michael Wilson. Our running backs are deep. We could start thinking about going QB now if there is a good one still available. And let's take a peek at the running backs. So we just don't want to completely neglect it. Yeah, Chuba, JK, that's the area where we want to operate. I'm not that high on Aaron Jones at all. I wouldn't mind a little bit of Blake Corum stock. I have Travion, so I probably should go Rhamondre. Rhamondre's already off the board, though. All right, I think we're in a good spot with the RBs. If JK or Chuba falls farther, we'll go. But I think we're going to go QB with this next. Actually, no, we are chilling on quarterback. Let's get another receiver in the building. Let's get another receiver in the building here. Jordan Addison. Should I just go with both Colts receivers? Like, I really do like Josh Downs a lot, man. But I like Alec Pierce a little bit more. The more I talk this out, the more I think about it. I feel like Josh Downs, a whole 2 rounds later, is the better play than Alec Pierce 2 rounds earlier because I think receptions wise, I wouldn't be surprised if Josh Downs led the team in receptions. Now, if Jordan Tyson falls to us in the 8th round, I wouldn't mind taking him, even though he might miss the first month of the season. I'm fine stashing him and waiting for him to come along if he ever does. Now, there is a little bit of risk there because I don't want to just throw away an 8th round pick. So he'd have to fall to the double-digit rounds. And it is risky like this early. We don't know the designation of his injury. We don't have a specific time frame because they're always changing. But I will tell you this. This guy right here, Quentin Johnson in this McDaniel system, yeah, give me that shit all day. At the end of this episode, by the way, I will be going over some of the best rushing props. So make sure if you're listening to the full episode version of this and not just the mock draft version, you stay tuned for that. The best rushing props for this upcoming season. Let's see. I think it's got to be Jadison here. Jadison, Makai Lemon hasn't been practicing. He has not been on the field with his team one bit. So it's Jadison and QJ are the 2 guys that I'm targeting here. Jordan Tyson, if he continues to fall, is not crazy. We could go with a QB. I think there's good like there's good enough QBs that'll be there for 1-on-1. No way Mahomes, Herbert, T-Law, Caleb, and Bo Nix are all off the board. I would be stunned. Stunned. So I will wait. We'll load up Jordan Addison, and that'll lock up our wide receiver room for good. Chuba Hubbard's still on the board. Okay, here's what we'll do. We're gonna go Jordan Addison here, as long as he's on the board still, which he is. If one of these running backs still makes it to the 101, and I'm talking about Chuba or JK, we're going to go there. If both of those guys are gone and Jordan Tyson is there, we're going to go Jordan Tyson. If all 4 of those guys are gone, we're going to go QJ. If all 5 of those guys are gone, we're going to go with one of the quarterbacks. And I think one of these guys is going to hang around until the 10th round. That's what we're hoping on anyway. And if they're not, I'm really calm taking Kyler Murray. Goff had to be a top 10. Yeah, Goff is always pretty consistently top 10. There goes Caleb. Saw that coming. No need to panic. Dallas Goedert, Kenneth Gainwell. Yeah, we don't care. There goes Bo Nix. All right, so here's the thing. We either go Herbert or Mahomes or Hubbard and Dobbins, and I'm going with the QB. I don't care about my 4th string running back. I want to lock up a good QB. And I feel like after there goes Herbert, give me Patrick Mahomes. This team's fucking gross. This team is gross. Patrick Mahomes, Derrick Henry, Puka Nacua, Brock Bowers. What a fucking core that is. And you know who we're taking in the later rounds? This guy is a guy I'm taking in the last round of every single fucking fantasy draft. And that's Malik fucking Willis. Okay, the rushing upside's too good to ignore. Now we look at the running backs. Is there going to be one that hangs? Like if Chuba Hubbard's still there at 116, we're going to take him. I would be stunned if he is, but we're going to take him. Jordan Mason is projected, according to DraftKings and a bunch of sports books, like 200 more yards than Aaron Jones. I would not mind taking Jordan Mason at all. I think this offense is going to be way better in Minnesota than a lot of people think, and Aaron Jones is going off the board before Jordan Mason. So I think Jordan Mason can be a really solid depth piece. Chuba Hubbard, we're going to take him all day. What other receivers are we looking at here? Jordan Tyson's still on the board. So that's a no-brainer. If Jordan Tyson's there in the 11th round, we're taking him. And I like our depth at the position now. I like our depth at running back. We have a good, this team's locked in. So at this point, I don't think it's a waste of a pick if Jordan Tyson never even plays this season at the 10 spot. There goes Chuba Hubbard. Not mad at it. Don't give a fuck about it. And this is what's good about going tight end early. I don't have to worry about it the rest of the draft, and I can just take some of my sleepers. And I love our depth at the receiver position. We picked up Puka, and then we just stacked RB depth. And look at the depth I got. This is why you take the RBs early and you wait on the receivers, because Jordan Tyson, Jordan Addison, Michael Wilson, Alec Pierce, one of those guys is going, there goes QJ, saw that coming. One of those guys is going to give me plus receiver, is going to be a wide receiver 2. One of those fucking guys on a week-to-week basis is going to give me wide receiver 2 production. I don't have to worry about RB1 production. I don't have to worry about wide receiver 1 production. I don't have to worry about RB2 production. The flex now, because I'm going to throw Monty in the RB2 spot. I just think he gives you a higher floor on a week-to-week basis than TreVeyon Henderson does. And I would probably start week 1 with Henderson in my flex. That being said, though, a flex option of either Michael Wilson, Jordan Tyson, Jordan Addison, or TreVeyon Henderson on a week-to-week basis is nasty when the rest of your team is Derrick Henry, Patrick Mahomes, Puka Nacua. Like, why is Mahomes? I will take the Mahomes tax because of his injury 10 times out of fucking 10. What other receivers are we looking at here? Diggs, Lemon, Jaden Higgins, Jacoby Lane. I think we wait to take some of our big sleepers. Let's take a peek at the RB room real quick. Okay, Jordan Mason just went off the board. That's not ideal. Charbonnet could be huge when he comes back from injury. I'm not that high on him. We will go Chris Rodriguez. Yeah, we're going to go Chris Rodriguez. People are underestimating the Bishol Tutin effect of this backfield, or overestimating Bishol Tutin. Like, Chris Rodriguez was coached by Liam Cohen when he was in college. Chris Rodriguez had the most yards after contact per carry last season out of any running back that had at least 100 carries. He's a good player. He is a good player. And Bishol Tutin was not exactly the most efficient running the football last year. Like, I feel like we could have oh my gosh, who was the running back on the Cardinals, dude? Soccer Max, friend of the program, drafted him. I think he was on the Cardinals. He was after David Johnson. He stunk it up. Or like this could be, was it Zach Moss the year that the Raiders had, like when he was the Raiders running back and everybody's picking? It wasn't Zach Moss though. Who was it? See, I don't remember because I stayed away from it. Kenyon Drake was the guy I was talking about for the Cardinals. Like, this could be a Kenyon Drake situation. This could be, I forget was it Zach Moss? It wasn't Zach Moss for the Raiders. Who was the Raiders running back? Everybody was like, take him. And he sucked. I don't know, but I didn't take him. I'll tell you that right now. Wide receiver. Let's see what else we got here. I'm not really vibing with any of this shit, bro. These guys all fucking suck. Caleb Douglas for sure. I like him as a sneaky sleeper. I like Tank Dell as a sneaky. He's not even that sneaky. He just injured. Calvin Ridley. He had 1,000 yards last year. Am I crazy? No, he had 1,000 yards the year before, maybe. Jacoby Lane for sure. Casey Concepcion. Is he off the board already? Yeah, he drafted already. All right. Let's X this out. Hold on, real quick. Slow down now. Slow down. Let's take a look at the wide receivers and let's take a look at the running backs really quickly. Really quickly. Sharp, Kamara, Pacheco, all these guys fucking suck. Takedown. Give me takedown. He was looking good in some videos I saw. He was in and out of his breaks, sharp in and out of his breaks. Oh, there goes Caleb Douglas right after Tank Dell. That's a good pick by that guy. Ben's best team. I didn't see that coming. Now we're headed in towards Jacoby Lane and then maybe Malik Willis. We got 2 bench spots left, defense and kicker. I would rather Malik Willis than Jacoby Lane for sure. Well, we will take Willis here and then Jacoby Lane with our last pick if he is still available. If he's not available, I don't mind an AD Mitchell here. I don't mind an AD Mitchell. He's the wide receiver 2 for the Jets. The Jets got to throw the ball. Cyrus Allen could be a shout too. Especially because Rashee Rice likes to race cars and Xavier Worthy can't stay healthy. But yeah, I really like this squad, man. I really do. Puka, Derrick Henry, Mahomes, and Bowers is such a nasty core that you really can get away with having subpar play elsewhere. But I don't think we have it. Obviously, the wide receiver 2 is a little bit concerning, but I think we're going to get wide receiver 2 production from at least one of the 4 guys I drafted. And Jordan Tyson has a elite upside. Michael Wilson has a elite upside. I don't think Addison or Pierce. I think Pierce does have that upside. I don't know if that offense has it. And Addison, I think his ceiling is a wide receiver too this year. But Puka is good enough to get you 30 points a game. You get 15 out of your other receiver. You're going to be A-okay. I think Jacoby Lane's going to come off the board here with all these autos. I hope not, but I think he is. And then the running back room. Derrick Henry, TreVeyon Henderson, and David Montgomery. They all have different bye weeks. So if all of them stay healthy, we have nothing to worry about. And then Chris Rodriguez, I think, is a really solid sleeper. So I think we have good RB depth, really good receiver depth, no tight end depth, but who fucking cares? And then Patrick Mahomes, Malik Will. This is how I would draw it. This is probably the best one we've done so far. Puka Nacua, Derrick Henry, Brock Bowers is just diabolical. TreVeyon Henderson's upside, elite. David Montgomery's floor, really solid to counteract. TreVeyon Henderson's upside, give me Jacoby Lane all day. Shout out USC. And then defense kicker. I stream my defenses, so I always pick my kicker first. Cam Little can hit bangers. Keamy Fairbairn, incredibly accurate. Jason Myers, incredibly accurate. We can't go wrong with one of those guys here. Butker on a good offense. Is Mevis good? I feel like the Rams special teams always sucks. Chris Boswell doesn't miss. So you want to get kickers that don't miss and are on good offenses. That's your Jason Myers. That's your Cam Little. That's your Harrison Butker. Or you can get kickers that don't miss, and that's your Chris Boswell. But we will go. I always go Butker, bro. I really do always go Butker. So we will go Butker if he's on the board. And that'll do it, man. So that is a mock draft from the 105. I have a 106 to do, 107, 108 to do. 3 mock drafts left, and we have done a mock draft from every single position for a 12-man league. And all I do is PPR, by the way. So everything you're seeing is PPR. Give me Mr. Butker, and then I don't care which defense you give me. But I think this team would win a league. I think I have enough depth where somebody's going to go off, and I could package TreVeyon Henderson and a Michael Wilson to go and get a real home run hitter as my a low end RB1, high end RB2 if TreVeyon and one of these receivers goes off. Or I could use like a TreVeyon and a Michael Wilson and just upgrade that wide receiver 2, throw David Montgomery in the RB2 spot. And if I get a high-end wide receiver 2 to go along with Puka, Derrick Henry, Mahomes, Monty in the RB2 spot, still with Tyson and Addison on the bench, I think this team is fucking gross. I think this was the best spot to draft from so far. And that's very contingent, though, on Brock Bowers falling to you in the 3rd round. Because if Bowers didn't go there, we're looking at a Garrett Wilson, Puka Nacua, Derrick Henry, Mahomes core, and I feel way more confident. As a Jets fan, even I'm a Garrett Glazer. You're not going to find a bigger Garrett Glazer. I feel way more confident with Bowers, Nacua, Henry than Henry, Nacua, Wilson as your first three picks. So I do love this core. Patrick Mahomes in the 10th round couldn't have worked out any better. And this draft does kind of go against a few things, a few like standards I like to live by, which is you don't want to be on the end of runs. Like you want to be at the start of each run. But David Montgomery, when there was those three guys, it was David Montgomery, DeAndre Swift, Bucky Irving. I wanted Bucky first, Montgomery second, Swift third. Bucky goes off the board, then Swift, then Monty falls in my lap. And it was always going to be an RB there. And then the quarterback run. Caleb, Bo Nix, Trevor Lawrence, they all went off the board. Mahomes was there. I took him anyway. Even though it was at the end of a run, I don't care. So here's where we're at. Alec Pierce and Michael Wilson were going in the 10th and 11th round, like 8, 9, 10 a few weeks ago. They're going, I got Alec Pierce 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Alec Pierce in the 6th, Michael Wilson in the 7th. They're only going to continue to climb. Addison in the 8th. Really good run on receivers there. I think we nailed all three of these picks. One of those guys is your wide receiver too. Jordan Tyson, I think coming back from injury, could have a similar rookie arc to Odell Beckham Jr. He didn't play the first 4 weeks and lit the league by storm. So I'm very comfortable with the value I got him at. I think I got good value on literally every single pick. Puka at the 105, that's like pretty common value. I think he should be a top 4 pick. Derrick Henry at the end of the 2nd round, great value. Brock Bowers, the best value pick of this draft. TreVeyon Henderson, you could argue was a reach. I wouldn't argue there. David Montgomery, really solid RB2 floor, got him in the 4th round. I think that's good value. Alec Pierce, Michael Wilson, I think this is about where I had them valued. I think I had Alec Pierce as a top 20 receiver. I didn't get him as a top 20 receiver, so I think I got good value on Pierce. Addison, maybe a little bit of reach. Mahomes, elite value. Tyson, elite value. Rodriguez could be the RB1. Like, there is a chance he outcarries Beisel too, and he gets the goal line work over Beisel too, and we got him at great value. Tank Dell, Malik Willis, terrific value. Obviously, Tank Dell, Jacoby Lane, they're kind of just dart throws a little bit, and then Butker in the Chargers defense, who cares? So that is a mock draft from the 105. Hit that subscribe button.